Welcome to another The Builders Extra. Today we're going to check out episode 87. We're going to rewind a few days. That episode was with AJ Saunders. We had a great time. Anytime we get together, we seem to laugh a lot. So if you like, picking up on that type of energy, that's the one to listen to. But what I wanted to expand on in this particular episode is CTAs. We dove into talking about how to construct content and all that. We started kind of there, and then we went into actually how to get conversions out of that and how to create great CTAs. What's a good approach? And I asked AJ what his approach was, and I loved his answers. They were great answers. And but I want to talk a little bit about I probably mentioned it in the podcast, particularly related to my web design agency and what I've been doing for CTAs there, but then my general idea around how to approach them. Because the first thing you need to do is you need to decide you need one. Everyone should have one somewhere. And what is a CTA? It's a clear call to action. That's a CCTA, a clear call to action. I think I just made something up. I think I just coined something. So when I have a book that comes out and says, creating killer CCTAs, now clear call to actions. And they should be clear. They should jump out at you. They should be, right to the point. They should be something that attracts your attention and provides value. Because here's the thing, and what a CTA is really all about is giving somebody a reason to actually join your list. That's it. What you do with them after that is up to you. That's another conversation. Actually, I have a great conversation in the upcoming podcast, probably 88. Got to check that out. We talk about no, that's actually in two, probably 89. Sorry. Anyway, but we have a lot of great conversations on The Builders, so definitely start listening if you aren't already. But one of the things that I wanted to just touch on here is kind of my thinking around how I start a CTA. What do I do first? And that's kind of one of the things I was trying to tease out of AJ. Is, okay, so I have a web page or I have some content or I have something that I want to sell and I want to create a CTA. Well, how do you do, what do you start with? And where do you start? Now, he had some great advice. You can go look at what other people in your industry, or even, it doesn't even have to be. It just get ideas out there, right? Create a little swipe file. Copy other people's ideas and then come up, kind of spin that and kind of turn it into your own idea. Certainly if you have somebody that's really successful in your industry, in your niche or your vertical, whatever you are in, and they're using something, you get a pretty good chance that that's working for them, especially if it's been there for a long time. I actually referenced an example of an agency I know that has a CTA, very specific. It's been there for years since I've been working with them. So it must be working. Since they're a digital marketing agency, they probably know how to do that. So that's one example though. But for me, it's like even then, you're still testing it, right? You still don't know if it's going to work for you and your audience. Because even though that's working for that particular agency I just referenced, they're in a different place than you are. They maybe have grander authority, right? They're established. Maybe their traffic comes from a specific source and that works for them, right? They may be driving some kind of traffic you don't even know about, but it wouldn't work for this other organic traffic over here. So there's all these other factors you don't necessarily see on the surface. It can give you an idea, but you're still going to have to test it. And that's what it boils down to, is testing. So on Unified Web Design, and I said this on the episode, I think, I have a pretty good memory, but sometimes. So I started out with actually had changed my hero, and I'm just talking about the hero here, where I have my CTA, my main CTA, my site. So if you go to my homepage, that is in the hero, which is that top section above the fold, the background and the text and the button. That originally, for quite a while, was get our pricing guide. I don't know what the button said, or download our pricing guide or something like that. And literally, it was just I would just do that, and I would capture that person on a list, and then I would send them a link to a page that had our pricing. So I had that for a while because it was actually, again, looking at what somebody else is doing. I really just replicated somebody else's system. They said, this works for us. You should be doing this. I didn't feel, though, that it was working that well. I had it for quite a while. I would get signups, but I couldn't really track if those were converting into anything tangible like money. With somebody, it was very easy for my competitors to just go there and be like, oh, let's see what Matt's, what he's charging. So that could have been the case. At some point, looking at my analytics and looking at that situation, I'm like, I think maybe I can try to improve this. And then I went to this kind of model of just having a call to action that would provide somebody a course or a download, one of those two. Did that for a while, wasn't really getting any results and any signups. And then recently, a few months back, I've been using Calendly since probably the beginning of the year. Calendly. It's basically a website that provides you a interface to create links to give people, and they can then use that link to choose to schedule basically an event or whatever, a meeting or whatever. There's a lot to it. But so it's basically a scheduler, right? And it's a very easy way for you to, people can find times based on, their own calendar and stuff like that. It'll even pull in your calendar if you're linked up. But anyway, so that's great. And I decided, I had seen, again, looking at somebody else doing this, I'm like, they have Calendly baked right into their offer here, where somebody can just go in and, sign up for a intro call or whatever. I started doing that. It's been working pretty good. It's definitely getting some better return on investment there, an investment of the time it took me to put that on. So it's actually working more than my other efforts. So now I'm in a good place. That was the test, though. And here's the thing I'm getting at. That was the test, trying different things. Now, you can split test. We could get into A/B testing and all that stuff. You could do that. But really, it depends on your traffic levels and stuff like that. There's another way you can kind of do it, is like, just try it for a while, see if it works, right? I tried this for a while. We're definitely sticking with this. But here's the thing. Now that it works, I can expand on it. Okay, so that link works to create an appointment with me. With Calendly, I can redirect. After somebody creates the event, they can be redirected to a landing page. On that landing page, I'm going to now create that landing page and have kind of a video and then some other content, resources, just to get that, build that relationship before we even talk. So there's more I can do with that and capture them and do more stuff with that. But the first step was really, okay, this works. Now, it's the same way when I do use a course or a free giveaway of some kind. I'm going to do a very basic test. I'm not going to sit down like, okay, I want to have the CTA and I'm going to build out, 30 follow-ups, right? In MailChimp or Aweber or whatever you're using. I'm going to have 30 ready to go. I'm going to write all these out and boom, it's just going to work. And then you don't get any signups and you spent all that time building out this content. It never worked. what I would do is I would create something very small. Yeah, maybe 3 to 5 if it's a course, or a very short report. Something that doesn't take a lot of time, but it's enough of an incentive to get somebody to sign up. And then if that works, if that message, that call to action works, and you can play with the heading and all that stuff to capture them, then you can expand on it. Then you can give them more stuff. You can create all those additional follow-ups. I used to have this thing way back in the day when I did internet marketing in the 2000s, where I literally would, because I did a lot of list building back then, and I had a system in place where I'd create like 4 follow-ups. So that would be a month's worth. And if it worked, then I would go expand it to 3 months. And then I would have this routine expand it out to a year. So I would kind of increment my adding that content. Actually, as I was listening to this back, I actually thought of another thing that I did that it's just another part of that process. And that was, besides only doing, let's say, a month or 3 months and then expanding it to a year, what I would actually do as well is I would change the increments. So I might have, if I did, like, let's say just 10 follow-ups, I might have, after 2 days, it follows up, 5 days, 10 days, 30 days. And then I might go to every month after that, every 30 days. But the more I would add, I might change the increments. So now I could send them a lot more early. Maybe the first 3 months is every week. And then it goes to a month. So that was in there too. I just thought I'd add that because it was fun. I was like thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, that's what I used to do too. So it was a matter of also adjusting the increments, the more content I had and created over time for that particular list building effort. Back to the show. I figure I have a month from that first sign up to create more, so, because no one's going to get month 12 until month 12. So you have some time to build out that content. You don't have to do it all today. That's the same way with a lot of things. If you sell a membership, you don't have to create all the content in the membership. You don't have to give everything. You create everything up front, especially if you're dripping that content. You create what you need for that first few weeks or month. And then if you get good sales and you actually have somebody signed up, then you can build that out over time. You can create monthly, I'm going to add this content until you have the full content, and you don't have to worry about it, or you just maintain it. But that's my thinking, though. When you're, regardless of where you start with your CTA, try to don't overdo it. Your time is valuable. All our times are valuable. You don't want to waste a lot of time or money's, hiring somebody to do it for you if you don't know it's even going to work. There's a lot of factors involved. Again, you can see somebody else is using it. You can, like, basically what I just said. There was somebody that taught a course that I took that said, this is the way to do it. I went out and I saw the report that I did was based on, this is what other people are doing in my industry. I'm going to try that. It wasn't until I tried this third thing where it actually clicked and it's working. Now, it might be a different story in a year. We'll see where it's at. Or I split test that with something else. Maybe I try to improve on it still. But that's the game. And that is, like, when AJ asked me, what else, you do, with that CTA, I'm like, this is all it is right now. It's just simple. I figured out it works, and now I can expand on it because I have some good data, good analytics, and results that actually inform me that this is a good thing. Let's do more of that. All right. Hope you found this interesting and you're wiser for spending the time. Till next time.